Good morning, YouTube. I'm car shopping. Shocker.
Shocking.
I'm just
very
shopping for
shocking.
cars.
You're always shopping for cars.
I thought this would be a fun one to do.
Yes?
The most expensive examples of cars. I went on cars.com and did this because it's the easiest way to toggle.
Right.
Of generic makes.
Okay.
Just of normal, and we're not doing Pagani or Lamborghini or all that. Just what is for sale that is the most expensive of a certain make.
Right. Well, I mean,
And-
do you not want to sell on cars.com if you have some elite type of supercar?
Not necessarily, but
right?
I think they just advertise everywhere. Most dealers have set up management for their software where they take one listing, they put it on the website, and then that software service puts it on cars.com, Car Gurus, populates it on a bunch of different sites for maximum exposure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, cars.com has the easiest way to toggle through because I can go sort it by the highest price. And like if you start with Acura at the very top, this is the funny part because there's always the typos in there. Somebody that gets a little too crazy. So like the most expensive one, $634,450 for a new MDX A-Spec package.
It's so good.
But it's obviously not. But they say the MSRP is $634,000. So
the car looks like it's even photoshopped in the picture too.
no,
So.
obviously a mistake. There's going to be mistakes in all of these.
Right.
But what would you guess is the most expensive Acura on here?
Oh, nothing like over what, 100,000?
No, well, there's still the NSX.
Okay.
There's the outgoing NSX, the Type S's, and they want over MSRP. So the most expensive one, $324,000. So you go from A to B. So then BMW.
Yes.
The BMW, they don't have any mistakes, but the top one is a 1996 BMW 750 IL.
Oh, baby.
And does it look familiar to you?
Oh, baby. Yeah, why?
Death Row Records. See the bullet holes?
Oh my gosh.
This is
stop
Tupac's
it.
death car. It's been for sale
it.
4 years, and they want $1,750,000 for it. But somebody fixed it and then drove it as like a daily driver for years. It has 120,000 miles on it. And
they kept the bullet holes in it?
No, they fixed the bullet holes. They drove it as a car for a decade before somebody bought it, and they've had this price forever.
Right.
I think this thing's been for sale for 5 years, but
Yeah.
it is the most expensive BMW on cars.com right now. Estimated payment of $32,000 a month if you want to buy it.
Does
Instead
it
of a Gullwing.
say where it's living? Like what area? It should be in a museum. I would think it should be in a museum, but if it's been restored, all the
Las
bullet holes
Vegas.
are away. That makes sense. But if there's no bullet holes, like there's part of me that doesn't really believe that that's the actual car.
It's the car. It has the documentation. It has the registration. But yeah, the bullet holes have been fixed. I do want to find those wheels though from my
they're
740.
so good.
Whatever those
Love
wheels are,
those.
if somebody has them sitting in their garage,
That's amazing.
that would be epic. So yeah, next on the list is Buick, because we're still doing Bs.
How you doing, Buick?
And the most expensive Buick for sale is the 2025 Encore GX Avenir for $377,000.
They have
Or
to
the
be,
Envision, $389,000.
there has to be something on purpose.
It's a mistake.
that.
It's just somebody typing it in wrong.
But it gets your attention, and maybe then you look at the dealer and you want to let them know that they're wrong, and you're showing a dialogue. Like, is there something? Because how do you mess up a price that bad?
You see it with every single, there's just somebody that, anyway, yeah, it's all over
They don't
cars.com. But the most expensive one is actually a 1965 Buick Riviera Grand Sport, and I don't really know why it's that expensive.
Sweet. Well, it's been customized.
$102,000, but not customized well. Like it has airbags, but still like the stock sort of suspension and frame, and still the old nail head it looks like under the hood. So it hasn't been resto modded, and it doesn't look like it's super perfectly restored. It looks mostly original. So. This asking price seems rather optimistic to me.
Quite high, but people get attached to things, like even home selling, and you get attached to your house. You always think there's a higher value when you're doing that customization yourself.
Right. I wonder if this is a consignment. It could be, and yeah,
so
just
cool.
with a sort of a wild price. But yeah, that is Buick. We'll jump along to Cadillac. I'm moving into Cadillac. There's still expensive Cadillacs out there. Well, there's actually one being advertised as a Cadillac, but it's not. It's one of those Rezvani tank things for $385,000.
Not a Cadillac.
And some other classics, but if you're going out of classics, like the newer ones, they have a 17 ESV, 31,000 miles for $214,000.
What?
Well, because
Is that over MSRP?
Way over MSRP, because
Okay.
this one's modified into a limo. So look at the back here.
Right.
It's all limoed out.
Yes.
So this would be...
That's like a private jet, like a high-end private jet back there.
It has the Maybach roof in it.
Okay.
And yeah,
What is that? An additional?
It was like a $40,000 option on the Maybach, but yeah, some celebrities hang out, get driven around, but you don't want to be in a limo too ostentatious. Perfect for that. Yes. So that is Cadillac. And then when we go to Dodge, what would you guess that would be?
Their highest?
Yeah.
As a mistake?
What would be, no, not as a mistake. What do you think is their most expensive car advertised online right now?
Some sick one of the last Vipers, I would say.
That would actually make sense if there was an ACR still advertised on there. But not. So the funny ones, they have a 2001 Durango GT advertised for sale for $2,847,600.
That's great.
And another one for a 2024, a new one at least, for $1,321,340. But as far as the most expensive, SRT Demons.
Oh, yeah.
People want big markups for those. So $426 Hemi, $1,000. Their MSRP is $135, so they're wanting $300,000 over MSRP. Ooh. But what's funny is they're not bringing that when they come to the collector car auctions. We see them all the time. We've seen them for a year now. They sell for about 50 over. They just shy of 200 usually. So that's that.
Which is still strong to be that much over MSRP. Right. It's a strong value.
So I don't know what's special about this one, but yeah, that's what they want for it.
That's crazy. I love the $2 million Durango.
Right.
What's it made out of?
So I'll jump down the alphabet to Jeep.
Okay.
What do you think is going to be the most expensive Jeep?
Oh, I mean, just some tricked out Rubicon, something like that, right?
There's some mistakes in here. $694,000 for a Wrangler Rubicon. I don't even think it's a 392 Hemi. But yeah, the cheapest actual Jeep on there, because once again, the Rizvani tank thing's being advertised by the same people in Jeep as well. We saw it earlier. Yeah, there is a Gladiator that's been heavily modified, as you can see, for $236,000.
And
new
that's
2024.
The actual price, as you're thinking.
That is the actual price. I think this is somebody that went through and did all the, the swap, the Hemi swap, the Hell crates. Let's see. Yeah, they demon swapped it, so 840 supercharged Hemi horsepower, lifted, all the things.
Very cool.
We do see these all the time at Barrett-Jackson as well, but here's an actual retail listing of it. Yeah, I don't know if that's the best investment in the world to buy one of those.
No, it's not.
The cars are,
but they do hold their value.
I don't know about that one, though.
This one, no. I don't see it holding their value. In 5 years, that's going to be tough because you always are chasing that update and you want to change it to the best possible top customization.
So here's a tough one. What do you think is the most expensive Kia for sale right now?
Kia? I don't know. I like the one that we drove.
Well, there is a Kia Sportage SX Prestige. This is the most expensive one so far.
Right.
$3,673,500.
Shut up! It really?
And then there's a Carnival, the van, for $412,000. So
is that like in some foreign countries, money?
Right. Yeah, the Zimbabwe thing, like the Grand Tour, like they $1 trillion or something. Yeah. No, their EV9, their electric sort of Telluride looking thing is their most expensive car for sale right now.
And it's still not crazy.
$65,000 for a Kia. Well, for a Kia, that's a lot, but they don't have the K900 big luxury things anymore.
Yeah.
But the
you're getting a lot
big EV
for your money there. I think it's a sweet ride.
I suppose. Okay, next Land Rover. I guess this is a bit luxurious, but yeah, the most expensive one is these SV matte paint editions. They go for over MSRP. They want $385,000 for a new Range Rover, which I can't think of a worse way to spend money than paying over MSRP, like several $100,000 probably, like 150 over MSRP for a very special. It's the caramel edition, so the matte brown on the outside and blue leather interior, but
it's very pretty.
In 10 years, this is going to be $50,000.
Well, and Range Rovers don't change their body that crazy much,
no.
So you're not chasing. Oh, I have to have this generation, this style, this mod. When it, I don't know what specifically this has.
Interesting though that the front seats are blue, the back seats are tan. And sort of that limo treatment, that Maybach treatment in the back. It is very cool, but $385,000, like, you're crazy.
That seems like a lot. A lot of TV screens.
I'd get a Cullinan or a Bentayga before that, or a used one for sure. So that's Land Rover. That's luxury. I shouldn't have done that probably. But just because I love them too much. How about Mercedes?
Okay.
So
here we go.
they have very expensive Mercedes, the Mercedes GLC 300, and they want $7,786,472
That's so good.
on a base crossover GLC. So I guess that's the most expensive one so far.
There's so many mistakes.
There's so many, like, 'cause there's another one for $7,787,000. But no, this is a real asking price. Hard to believe, but they want $1,225,000 for the G-Wagon 6x6.
Yeah.
Which we've seen some go through Barrett Jackson. It may have been this exact one, and I think it sold for like just shy of $1 million.
Right.
I don't think it quite. Maybe with fees it got over it, but I feel like this is the same car.
It's a really cool car that catches your eye. If you're going to spend that much money on something crazy tricked out, I would go here.
I do know that they weren't legal in the U.S., and to bring them in and federalize them is like a multiple six-figure process to be able to do it, for it to be street legal in the U.S. And I think the one that Barrett Jackson was brought in and done, so it is a big deal for that.
What is it about it not being street legal?
Look at it. I mean,
what seems to be the
a
problem?
six-wheel truck. I don't know exactly, but yeah. So that is Mercedes. How about Nissan?
Okay.
So what do you think is the most expensive Nissan?
Well, it's not going to be an Altima.
You say that.
What? Don't even.
You say that.
Don't even. Is there a $3 million Altima?
There's a $382,000 Pathfinder, a $374,000 Frontier Pro X, the Rogue, $346,000. And then here's a Sentra, it's pretty close to the Altima, for $240,000.
There's no way. There's no chance.
It's, like I said, the typos, like there's pages and pages and pages of typos.
Wait, these are all types. So Nissan's the worst as far as typos?
No, I'm just scrolling through it. It's not just, it's every automaker that makes this mistake, and I just find it so funny.
There's like 20 of them for Nissan.
Right.
What are they trying to do?
Right. So the most expensive, somebody wants, and I think this is real, for a 10-year-old Nissan GTR, $338,000. That's been modded to hideousness.
Right.
It's hideous. I don't understand why. I'm sure it's like 1,000 billion horsepower, every single mod, everything thrown at it. But $338,000, no. It's very pretty. They golded up the intakes there. Oh, because I didn't. Jake's gonna have a hard time with that. So if you're wondering why something's blurred out if Jake's using this footage, I wanted to scroll through cars.com, but I didn't want to give them my information, so I gave them a useless old email that I don't look at anymore, and I had to have my name, so I typed in F you, my first name F, my last name you, because I did not want to give them my information. Like suddenly there was like a door slam shut on cars.com where if you wanted to start searching again, you had to put in your information.
Right.
And so I just put in my information. My first name is F and my last name's you, and my email's one you'll never see again. So that's what that is.
I like that. I think we all should be using that to avoid junk mail in the future.
Yeah, well, I think that was in Austin Powers, right? Because there was the twins that were the Asian, the Fukmi and Fukyu. Remember that?
Yeah, I hope it is, and you're not making this up, or you had some dream about it.
Anywho, Fukmi is hot. That was the Austin Powers. Yeah. Okay. We're getting in the weeds here. Good thing we're getting down the alphabet, right? Okay. So how about the Ram, the trucks?
Yes.
What do you think is the most expensive Ram?
I mean, Rams are kind of expensive to begin with, right?
It would be the TRX. But on this page, the most expensive one is the ProMaster, like the Sprinter, basically.
The kidnap vans?
$791,000 for one of those. Yes. $790. There's several. See, look, a whole page of ones mispriced at $769,000.
Why?
It's just I don't know why they make these mistakes and then they don't get caught, but it's very fun.
Great.
But the cheapest one is another 6x6.
Right.
You can see this was a Ram at one point, made into a 6-wheel vehicle. They want $275,000 for it.
We need that for the tornado season.
It does look like the Nader.
That's sweet.
Tyler, the Nader Wrangler's storm chasing vehicle, most definitely. So some crazy SEMA build that they probably have way more than that into it.
I'm surprised they didn't price it higher, to be honest, because that's a crazy checked out truck.
But like I said, we're getting down the alphabet. So how about Toyota?
Toyota. Okay.
What do you think is the most expensive Toyota?
Well, I mean, when we did the list of the best, value holding for cars, Toyota was killing it. So I'm imagining that that lineup is going to be strong.
Well, there is a Tundra for you, April, at it's an SR5, so the low trim, and it's only $5,522,140, and a RAV4 Prime for $1,388,000.
So good.
It's so goofy, but there is a real listing of a Toyota that's very expensive, and it's a Supra.
Right.
193,000 miles.
That's a lot.
They want $239,000 for it, which makes no sense at all for a modded Supra with a bunch of miles. But
so then, do you think a lot of these could be scams where people call and say what's wrong, and you start a conversation?
Well, I mean, like, okay, not to throw Euro-Asian Bob under the bus as much.
Oh no.
But he will put everything on his website for a price.
Yeah.
And if he's super in love with something,
right.
it will be a I don't want to sell price.
Right.
And there's a few cars that he's had on there that he puts I don't want to sell price, and somebody still calls wanting to buy it. And then when he tries to tell them not to buy it, and then when he gets off the phone with them, he raises the price even more because he really doesn't want to sell the car. So I wonder if this is...
do you have to sell something if you price it a certain way? You actually have to sell it, like, legally?
I don't know. I suppose you would. But,
I think you do.
If, say, you're using your floor plan, which is a dealership line of credit, your bank, to own personal cars, which you're not supposed to do, but a lot of dealers do it. Let's say you needed some money, but you had the Supra in the garage, and you get this floor plan. I'm not saying this person's doing it, but it's just theoretical. You're behind on your bills. Well, here's my Supra sitting in the garage. I'm going to get it floored for 150 grand and ask 200 and something for it. The person who is my bank can see that I have it advertised for sale, that I'm trying to sell it, but I'm never ever going to get that. I'm just using it to sort of get me through, or or I don't want to sell it, so that's the price, $239,000. Although it could be, used to be owned by Paul Walker and was in the Fast and Furious, and now it's different. Like, I don't know, but yeah, that's the Supra. So our last one is Volkswagen. As we go down the list, I know I've skipped some makes, but I'm getting a little bit in the weeds here. So what do you think is the most expensive Volkswagen?
I'm going to have to say the new electric one's coming out, right?
Well, they're not hitting lots yet. But Volkswagen, there's only one mistake on here. 2024 Tiguan for $327,000.
That's great.
That's the only one. Everybody else is pretty sane. So the most expensive one on here, believe it or not, is an old bus. So
cool.
the truck version of the bus,
that's amazing.
1962 Type 2, 152 miles for 116 grand.
Those are sweet.
And it does look like it is a very, very nice example. But
I love the little panels that fold down in the back. You can almost have like a concert, like a band on top of the truck bed there, and it's just like, that is so cool.
Yeah, the double cab does make them a lot more valuable. You can see it's a 3-door where you can get in on the passenger side. So that is a pretty desirable truck. Actually, one of the first crew cab trucks in existence. And the prices, I don't think they rival the 23 windows, with the buses.
The 23 windows at the top.
Yeah, but these are pretty hard to find.
Yeah.
So
I think the biggest offender seems to be Nissan as far as
I think so. Yeah.
Random prices, incorrect prices.
So there's a trip into my brain and what I do to just pass the time when I'm pooping or whatever. You can try it sometime. It's very fun.
Then. I mean, are you pooping all day long?
It helps get me in the mood, or no, not really, honestly.
It probably does.
No, it doesn't.
It totally does.
It doesn't. I'm sorry, April. No, it doesn't.
If I were a car, you would
Thank you
like me
so much for watching.